Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's me. It's Mike Lepre, King Michael. It is January 7th, 2021. Wow, it feels like we've been like 4 weeks in at least on this month. But this is Legit Fantasy Football from legitfantasysports.com. Again, my name is Mike Lepre. I've yet to show myself. Why? Well, I thought because that this man, Mr. Doug Peterson, deserved the first shot of appearing on our Thursday Night Football for throwing a football game right in front of people's faces, giving the world's worst excuse and getting away with it. What has happened? Why can these things go on anymore? It's Mike Lepre. Geez, and joining me as always is the genius, Kev. Genius. How could that happen? It happened. It was a robbery in plain sight, and no one did anything.
You're right, King. It happened in plain sight. Like the craziest thing for me is if they wanted to do it, he didn't tell his assistant coaches. He didn't tell his players. There were some plays where the offensive line didn't block. Did you see that? Like the offensive line didn't even block. Like they obviously there's something going on. Maybe something came down from the top, whatever. But Doug Peterson just played it like a jerk. If he just said we're going to treat this like a preseason game, no one would have had a problem with it. But the way they did it is what sucks, and that's what makes it an Eagles move.
Well, hey, look, if you're going to throw the game, tell everybody.
Yeah.
Like, tell everybody beforehand, because those offensive linemen that are getting their faces smashed in every single play, that are fighting for the extra yard, that it's like, why am I bothering fighting for that extra yard? Like, tell them that you're going to tank like that, like ahead of time, because that's what I think Kelsey was so pissed off about. It's like, let me know so I'm on the right side of it. Like, Kelsey, if anybody, deserves to be told. He's like a veteran from that team that you figured they go tell him first so he can rest, right? But that happened in broad daylight, though. That's my problem, I think. We're having a lot of things happen where it's literally like the dumbest magic trick ever, where it's just like that Jedi mind trick. Like, we're just doing it in plain sight. We're just going to throw the game. You can't throw the game. We didn't throw the game. Maybe you did. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Like that's the weirdest thing about it. If that was a 1:00 game, it would have been like a blip, and you would have heard like a little bit about it. But it was a Sunday night game. There's no more Monday Night Football for the season. And it had playoff implications. Everybody was watching that game. They did it right in front of us, and there's no ramifications. Nothing. No ramifications at all. Doug Peterson still has his job.
Look. So here's what I'm watching the game with Junior, and because it's a big game for us. The Giants had a chance of going and representing the NFC East, which, I guess it's hard to say that they didn't deserve it because they were 6-10, which I get that. But we definitely deserved a shot at it more so than the Redskins. I'm sorry, I get it again. And the football team, who got in because the Eagles threw a game, and we also beat them head to head. That's my only grief, right? Again, how it plays out, though, we didn't make it. That's our own fault. All right, I get that. But throwing the game like that to affect another team's status, he affected what? At least 3 teams' future, right? 1, 2, 3, by making his decision. So I'm watching the game. I'm gonna go to watch the game. See, in my head, I keep having my problem is I keep clicking because I thought the problem was Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. That's who I thought the quarterback controversy was, right? So I'm sitting there watching it with my son Junior, and for some reason they don't. I go, they're not kicking the field goal. They stop. We'll start from that point. I'm going. They're not kicking the field goal. They're not kicking the field goal. And he's telling me to calm down. I'm getting louder. I'm going, they're not kicking the field goal, right? And they didn't. And what did they do? They called another play that kept that kid in the pocket. Genius. They're called genius for a reason. Would you ever allow that? Do you keep that kid in the pocket for 3 straight plays? This kid, most explosive legs. Would you keep him in the pocket?
Oh, he the funniest thing about all that, King, is like you said, like how did he score? How did they score the touchdowns of the game? He ran what? He ran them in.
He
Like,
caught
so
him.
why would you keep him in the pocket? Like it doesn't make any sense. And here's another thing, by the way. There, Al Michael and Chris Collinsworth, who I hate. I hate both of them. I feel they both suck. I probably hate them more than I should. They were like, oh well, the analytics say to go for it. I looked at a post from actual analytics people on Twitter, websites. That's not actually even true. So the whole thing is just terrible and disgusting.
See that at that moment, that's where analytics deserves to get shoved up someone's ass. Like that, analytics tells you to go for it.
It doesn't.
Common sense tells you to kick the friggin' field goal and tie the game, you dummy. But like who? You tie the game. Just tie the game. You gotta tie the game. You gotta go from losing to not losing, right? And the guaranteed way, not guaranteed, but the 90% ways you kick the field goal. They go for it, keep him in the pocket, he misses, right? We play our defense, which is good. We get the ball back. He gets the ball back. In he walks. Now, first off, I keep talking about this, and I wonder if anybody else noticed it. He had such Mickey Mouse white gloved hands. His hands were so overly white, paddedly, whitely, bigly pads, right? They looked like he looked like he had Roger Rabbit hands. Like that's what I kept referring to him as, right? So when he came in and got ready for the hike like this, genius, I swear to God, I looked at my son and said, I don't know if he's ever taken a snap. I don't know if he has. He doesn't look like he's ready for the ball. I said he doesn't look like he's ready for the ball. Like I'm actually saying these things like a madman to my son who thinks I'm a crazy person. I'm going, he doesn't know how to handle the ball. And the ball gets snapped on the first play, whatever, handoff, they don't do nothing. And I'm thinking, why are they playing this kid? And then they say that, they're playing him because they wanted to see what they had. Yeah. He's 27 years old. It's his 4th year. He was drafted by the Redskins. Yeah. He was drafted a 6th round pick. They want to know what they had. Bullshit. So anyway, it's on the 3rd down play where he throws the ball straight up in the air. He threw that ball. Like, remember when you used to pick up football? You couldn't punt, but you would have to throw it. You remember how you could throw it, punt it? Like a throw punt you could do? Right? That's what that looked like. Did it not? Like he was like, he didn't look like his eyes never looked down. He never looked at anybody. He was looking up. And he just projectiled it with those big Mickey Mouse hands, right? So then, boom, interception. We're like, oh, okay, whatever. So I'm sitting there with him. The maroon team is, like I said before, they're just maroon. They just maroon again. That's all. It's just so mediocrely. Their offense is, they're maroon again. And then, they got another chance of winning. And he comes down, and this is the one where his hands are so stupidly big and too padded. First of all, he's wearing double fucking gloves. Double gloves. No, everyone keeps just letting that go by. He's not doing the old school, throwing hand, I leave clean, a glove in my other hand. This motherfucker's wearing 2 gloves. It's not even cold. He's a quarterback genius. They need control of the football. You know what I mean? And he's wearing double. So what happens? The ball hits him in the double gloves, these big, stupidly padded gloves, and it just fumbles. Yeah. and it just starts to roll. Right? And the whole Giants season and everything that's been happening just starts to roll with it. And who chases it down? The guy that if we just would have beat the Redskins last year, we would have had Chase Young. Yeah. Dude, it's him that tracks the ball down and picks it up. It's so symbolic of how ridiculous this has been. Yeah. I'm like, this ain't fair. Let me tell you something. So, Tom Brady likes his footballs to be a little light in the air. Okay. They take away a first-round pick. Doug Peterson throws an entire game. What? They're not even doing nothing. They should take away a pick. Why is that not worthy of a first-round pick? He threw that game on public TV.
The thing that nobody understands, and I still don't get it. Game's over, regular season's over. Why did he do it that way? All he had to do, why put up the facade of we're trying to compete, and then all of a sudden switch it off? Go for it on that. Go for it on that fourth down instead of kicking the field goal. Put Sudfeld in. Why didn't you just say it from the beginning? We're treating this as a preseason game. We have no play. We can't make the playoffs. So we're going to get Sudfeld's going to play the whole game. We're not going to start the top offensive lineman. We're going to give the defensive line a night off. That's it. Why didn't they just do it that way? That's what I don't get. Why would you open yourself up to all this controversy? Because if I said to you before, on Saturday, look, we're not playing our starters, you couldn't complain about it. The way he did it, it was what makes him a douche. I don't get that part.
Vegas would have went nuts if we would have known what Collinsworth knew. Collinsworth knew that he was going to play Dutterfield, whatever his name is. I don't want to know it. Sorry, I just don't want to really know the full name. But anyways, Collinsworth, that creepy bastard, he reminds me, Genius, of a vampire, right? He does. He's got a creepy look to his face, right? So he knows this little tidbit. If someone came to you and said to you that Dudfield, whatever, was going to play the whole fourth quarter, right? Because that's what Collinsworth was trying to claim. He's trying to claim that pre-game they had a conversation, and he mentioned that. If Collinsworth would have mentioned that to anybody else, what do you think Betters would have done?
Well, that's the thing. It was leaked in certain places, but I didn't hear about it until during the game. But I've heard other people say it was known before the game that he was talking about playing Sudfeld, and that's that. But why would you go Hurts for the first half? What else do you need to see from Hurts? He's played 3 full games. Why go with him for the first? I think it was all just plausible deniability for excuses to throw the game.
You're supposed to play Jalen Hurts the whole game in that situation because you want to play at all. But you want to see how he can play against a division rival when a game matters. But the game didn't matter to them.
Exactly.
Which is unbelievable that NFL teams, professional teams that we technically pay, right?
Yeah.
In a roundabout sort of way, the fans, they decided they don't want to play 1 week.
Yeah.
And that's okay with us?
No, it shouldn't be. You talk to your brother Jesse. Was it okay with him? He was disgusted, completely disgusted. Eagles fans were losing their freaking minds over this.
Look, right. So Genius. This is what they have. They have a statue of Nick Foles, who next year signs a big stupid contract with Chicago and just never lives up to it. And we don't hear from him again. And Doug, look, not Buddy Ryan, you know what I mean? Not Reggie White, not any of these guys. It's Nick Foles.
But they look awful. And by the way, do you see the quote at the bottom? It says, "You want Philly, Philly." That is awful. It's awful in every way.
Look at those hands.
Awful.
Look at those hands. Yeah, I took last night. We took him to court.
Yep. You're right. I don't get it. So when you're ready to switch gears, I want to talk about Chase Young and what he said about Brady. When you're ready to go, because I love it.
No, you know what? Let's change gears, because I'll be quite honest. I don't know what else I can say about that game that other people haven't said. And it's surely the sheer fact, though, is if they don't have anything taken away from them,
they're not.
That's set power precedence.
And how do you? Here's the last question I will ask. Okay, you're Jeffrey Lurie. You're the owner. You're gonna say, okay, Doug, you did what we asked, right? You tanked. But how does Doug Peterson walk into a locker room next year and get any respect at all? because of the way he did it. Like, this guy doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like, why should I? Like, and he's awful too. He's an awful coach on top of it. It wasn't like Belichick or Bill Parcells or something. It's Doug Peterson screwed you all over, and next year we're gonna come. Some of us are gonna come back and like dedicate ourselves to you. Why? How?
The Eagles defense was so good that year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do any. Like, you know, he won a Super Bowl. It's hard to take that. You can't take that away from anybody. But
no, you can't.
Which you don't sucks. Put a statue, like, whatever.
I know. And the whole thing, you put the statue up again. Like, look at the two of them. They look smaller than if you and I did a statue. They look smaller than us, and we're not professional athletes. Does that look like any two people? Like, is Peterson taller than Foles? Like, look at his skinny legs. Like, the whole thing is a mess. None of it's intimidating. None of it's impressive in any way.
No. How big is Peterson?
I don't know. Apparently 6'7", because I think Foles is like 6'4". I can't.
You ever do that thing where you'll like be like, I wonder how tall like Tom Cruise is, and then you'll type in Google how tall it is. You ever do that
right now? I'm doing it right now.
I do that all the time. That's like a habit of mine. I like to know how tall
Doug Peters.
Huh?
I'm doing it right now. How tall is Doug Peters? Oh, someone else to search for this.
What do you claim to? I'm going to claim he's 6'3". Without seeing the stats, he looks 6'3".
There's a site called Healthy Celeb. I can't go there. Like, that's gonna get it.
All right, let me ask you a couple things, Genius.
He's 6'3".
Bang! I call it. I know it. I'm good at that. I am.
Yeah. So
let me ask you. Fantasy football season was over.
Yep.
We saw a champion that we never thought we'd see. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. We thought we'd see sooner. I think I can say successfully. What do you think it was this year that made him that took him over the top?
His team has been so strong, like for the last few years. Like Ray was talking last year. Ray on the last show, Brother Ray was like, you should have won it last year. I beat him last year. I knocked him out in the semifinals because Jameis Winston had a 51-point game. It was his last amazing game. Week 15, he lit it up and it knocked Steve out, and like that was that. He should have won it last year. His team is stacked, and like it's also 2020. I chalk a lot of it up to 2020. A lot of stuff that shouldn't, not that shouldn't happen. A lot of rare things happened in 2020, and like I don't know if we'll ever see him do it again. Even though he's got a lot of talent. Like his approach, the math behind his decisions and stuff. I don't always agree with, but you got to see. It's like we were just talking about. You win one, you win one. You can't ever take it away.
Yeah, and I can't talk because I still have yet to win one. You know what I mean? Like, but I got to tell you, I think my whole plan this year to draft the 3 young running backs has definitely been a smart move.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anyone says. I like where I stand with my 6. Like
don't trade anybody. Don't do anything crazy. Don't let anybody touch Dobbins. You got 8.
I know. I'm not touching those four running backs. I'm not. I'm not touching, because those 4 running backs alone, if they get, it's J.K. Dobbins, it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire,
Taylor, right?
Taylor, and then Ezekiel Elliott.
I would trade Zeke, dump Zeke if you can for those 3. Running backs are like running back performances. Get rid of Zeke if you can.
His value right now is nothing.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
It's not worth me even getting into it with people. No, for real. No one's going to give you the value for what Zeke really is going to play. Zeke still can be like great. You know what I mean? And people are going to be like, I'll give you a 6 rounds.
Yeah,
you'll get those.
That's true.
9th rounds.
Yeah,
that shit.
You probably have to start the season with him. You're probably right.
I mean, who knew? Go ahead.
You have young wide receivers too, so you're gonna have a problem. It's only 6 keepers. You keep 4 backs. I know you have Deontay Johnson. I think you have McLaurin too, right?
I have some really like wide receivers I love. Terry McLaurin from the Raiders football team.
Yeah.
I got Deontay Johnson from the Steelers. I got oh man, you make me forget. Who's my other? I got a real big one. I forget what his name. Another young guy. Oh, T. Higgins. T. Higgins. Picked him up off the waiver wire.
Yeah. So you can only keep 6, and if you keep the 4 backs, you only get 2 wide receivers. You gotta move something. So you might be finally in a position where instead of trading away picks, you can get a pick for T. Higgins, but you get a pick for one of those other guys. Which you're right there. Just don't do anything crazy. Do not do anything crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird year. What I want to do is give me the breakdown on the whole the Brady Chase Young.
I love it. Chase Young said, I want Brady. And people are like, that's disrespectful. It's bulletin board material. Like that's fucking stupid. He didn't say I want Brady to bend over like I want my girlfriend to bend over. He just said I want Brady. Like I love it. And like Chase Young is so young and so strong and so fast. Like the only thing I hope is that Ron Rivera or whoever I don't even know who their defensive coordinator is, can somehow figure out a way to scheme Chase Young to the inside. Because rushers on the edge, Brady can handle. You know this. You're a Giants fan. You beat the Patriots twice. If they can scheme pass rushers up the middle, if you get Chase Young going against a guard or a center, that'll ruin Brady's whole night. And I hope they figure out a way to do it. But I don't think it's like bulletin board material. I want Tom Brady. What's wrong with saying that? He's a rookie. He wants to beat the best. He wants to beat the GOAT, like he said. But yet you're hearing that's disrespectful. It's not disrespectful.
It's weird. I actually, what am I causing feedback? I got volume on your monitor.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Wait, say it again.
I thought I was tripping. I heard like wang wang wang.
Somebody, I think I had somebody in the back yelling when I mentioned Chase Young.
Yeah, that's what it was. So here's my thing. Look, it seems like such a non-story week.
Yeah.
NFL. It seems like such a everything takes secondary like notice type time. So like the NFL is making things out of absolutely nothing. That's absolutely nothing type conversation. You know what I mean? Like, what? Of course, he should say that.
Exactly.
You want him to say, "I'll be afraid of Tom Brady," or do you want him to say, "I'm going to play, but not my best because I respect that man"? Like, out of your mind.
Exactly.
So you know what? I hope to God that they get up the middle fast. Justin Tuck took advantage of that. He's a bigger guy. That's most like usually an end for us. But when we played the Patriots,
exactly, you move to the middle,
tackle, and you'd bust the whole thing up. And Brady hates it coming right at him immediately. He's got to be like, you know what I mean? He wants to step up into the pocket as they go around him. That's exactly what that is.
Which is why I hope the Rivera, whoever the Redskins defensive coordinator is smart enough to do that. Like start scheming Young like towards the middle. They got that whole defensive line is strong. But either way, the real problem, and we both know this, is there's no way Alex Smith can win this game. There's no way. How do you pick a scenario like I don't know how he's wired. However he's wired should be kind of studied because. If the clock is running out,
I disagree with you here. I think that, to be completely honest, the time is exactly right for Alex Smith to take the football team on a run. They keep playing his story on loop.
Yeah,
all about the comeback and how he broke his leg like Theismann did, and it took 12 surgeries, and he almost died. 17 and all that stuff. That's right now. That's what America needs. Like, we could use an Alex Smith run to the Super Bowl, but all the stories that come with it.
But he can't take a risk. Like if the clock were running out and he had to throw a 50-yard bomb and nobody was open and you were open 8 yards down the field, he would throw to you. Like somebody has to change his wiring a little bit. He has to take it. There's no way they beat Tampa without taking any risks. And I just don't think he can do it.
I think they got to run run.
Yeah.
That defense needs to score points, and it can. They got to get to Brady. If they can get to Brady, it's a game. No matter what Alex Smith does, for real. They'll keep them in the game. If they can get up the middle and get at Brady, and people are saying, "Oh, easier said than done." Nah, it can be done. But that D line can get after you. So we'll see. I just other than you look at the playoffs and you just think to yourself, all right, there's the Chiefs, and then there's who? I mean, being honest, like it's just to me, it's like the Chiefs.
I'm all over the Bills. I'm all over the Bills.
I like the Bills, but I don't know. There's the Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like, who is at their level? Like, it's the Chiefs, then who?
See, the weird thing is, it's probably nobody at their level, but you've seen this before where teams cannot just turn it on and turn it off at will. Like, eventually it catches up with them. The Chiefs have won their last 6 games by like 6 points or less. Why? Like, they're so much more talented than most teams in the league. Like, they're the only team that can cover up Andy Reid's weaknesses as a coach. Like, Mahomes and their offense is so good, he can pass every play and it doesn't bite him in the ass ever. But I just think they're missing something. I think they're missing a killer instinct. And maybe they turn out.
They're not a mean team. They're definitely not a mean team. You know what I mean? They don't have that chip on their shoulder at all.
Yeah. And I think the Bills are so jacked right now. But then again, the Bills are the Bills. They could go out and lose the first game because they're thinking 2 games ahead. But I would love to see Bills-Packers. I would love to see in the Super Bowl. Like,
we good.
Like I hate the Chiefs.
I'll tell you what. There's a game that seems horrendously boring, and I can't quite understand who's going to win it. And that's Seattle and the Rams.
Yeah.
What is that game? That's a game of 2 teams that look like they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. What is that game?
Yeah. I don't understand.
What is that game? What is it? What?
I don't understand Seattle. Like, Seattle started off the season so strong. Russell Wilson MVP. That's all you heard. They were scoring a zillion points. And then they just, like, faded away. And, like, I'm surprised they're even in the playoffs. Like, they just started, like, I don't think it's coasting, but like, they have no energy. It doesn't seem like they have any energy.
Exactly. It seems like they have no energy. That's God's honest truth. That's a weird thing to say, but it does reflect on them. Like, they don't look like they're going full speed. They don't look like they're playing their hardest. Like, that's a hard thing to say, but it looks like that. Like, or they're just really confused. You know what I mean? But, like, both those teams and the Rams, I don't know. You know what? I think I'm going to pass on Goff. Like, I think I'm going to have to officially pass on Goff because you can't predict him. I don't think. I don't think.
You don't even know if he's. Well, I don't know if he's playing or not. Like, they're being very playing it close to the vest, which they should. Like, he was in practice, but they're not saying that he's going to play. It might be Walford again, who, you know, he's a CB with an AAF guy or something. But like their defense is strong. But again, it's like there's no way that game's going to surprise you. If Seattle won, you'd be like, okay. If the Rams won, okay, whatever. Either way, they get blown out next week. They're going to get knocked out of the playoffs next week. Either one of those teams. Like, Goff isn't good enough to get them to the Super Bowl. And Seattle, like we said, is low energy, and their defense is still pretty bad. So I think it's kind of like it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't even know how to bet that game. I have no idea how to bet that game.
I guess that's what mainly is that, like, how do you bet that game? Like, who the hell knows what's going to happen in that slobber? Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's all you do. Yeah. I like how you're giving a little tribute to Madden.
Genius. Just humor me for a second because I got to go try something. So hold on. I'll be talking, but I'm going to be moving for a second. And I gotta. Oh, there we go. All right.
You changing the lights?
No, yeah. Because I don't know if you noticed, I've been squinting the whole goddamn episode because I can't see because that light was so in my face that I'm telling you right now, all I can see is it actually took. That was like what 30 minutes of burning it into my into my soul. Everything right now is still like rainbow colors, but all right. I feel so much better. All right. Now, back to the playoffs. Other games that I would want to watch. Games that I would want to watch. I want to watch Tampa Bay in the football team. I want to watch the Colts and the Bills, right? I don't really care about the Rams and the Seahawks.
Raven science.
I've seen that already, though. You know what I mean? How many times are you gonna watch this show?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many times?
But this time it matters. That's the tagline. But you're right. They how do you think that'll play out? Like
I don't know. I don't know because you know why? This is again. Look, I'm gonna go with the Titans. And the only reason I'm gonna go with the Titans is I can depend on Henry more than I can depend on anybody else involved in this. Henry is a beast. Dobbins a rookie, and what's his face? Look, just.
Well, Jackson, you don't like Lamar?
I do, but he's not as dependable as Derrick Henry.
But
no one is. Like, no one's going to produce as guaranteed as he is. He's going to run them over. We'll see as it gets closer, but I'm just not buying the whole Baltimore thing. I'm not buying the whole because everybody's rushing to Baltimore. Like, I think Baltimore's from everybody's favorite.
Well, like,
what about the Bears Saints? Do you care at all?
I don't really care. I guess I would care if it were close. Like everyone kind of assumes Saints just roll them, and like that's that. Like Chicago leads. What I care more about in that game, and like I don't know if you want to get into this stuff, but most likely Matt Nagy is going to keep his job.
Yeah.
How? And there's a chance they take Trubisky back. If they win this game, it'll be the worst thing that ever happened to the Bears franchise because they will lock Pace, the GM, Nagy, and Trubisky in for multiple years. Like they just need to get blown out and clean house. Like they're not a good team, and so but like I'm not gonna. I'll watch it because it's on, but I have no really rooting interest.
Yeah, no,
I hate like 27 of the 32 teams at least. Just because their personalities, I hate. I don't like this. I don't like the way the Saints carry themselves. I don't like it.
They're very finesse. I think of the word finesse when I think of the Saints. I really do. All right. What about the Browns and Steelers? Like, come on, like for real. Like, doesn't it? Like, I'm gonna say it again, but I guess it's true. Why does it seem like we just keep seeing the same game every week? Like, who's playing the Browns and Steelers? Oh, all right. Like, what week is it? It doesn't matter. I mean, it's every week, any week.
Yeah. You pointed. I think you pointed that out last Sunday. It's hilarious because you're right. It's like there's these pairs at least that they're always playing. And like I don't get it either. But they let the Browns go with no Stefanski. I think they're missing one of their defensive coaches and like one or two players, and they're gonna do a playoff game. So the line is pretty crazy right now. It's Steelers. Actually, it's not that bad. Actually, it's only Steelers -6. Steelers -6. It's not too bad. You could tease that down to a pick. I don't see how Cleveland wins that. Like their defense isn't good enough. But
no, I don't. You gonna listen again on Sunday?
Yeah.
All right, read them off to me.
So it's Colts, Bills -6.5. It's Rams, Seahawks -3.5. Bucks football team, Bucks -8.
This is Saturday, right?
Sorry, just Saturday is the first three. Yeah, this is the last one for Saturday. Bucks football team -8.
All right. What's Sundays?
Sunday is Ravens Titans. Ravens -3. Bears Saints -10. Browns Steelers -6.
Like that's all they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, then there's Packers got to buy and the Chiefs got to buy.
I know, but what I'm saying is, when you read those team names, it's like, what do we? I don't know. Like, what's going on with the product? The NFL. Don't have one of these trucks.
But Mike, okay, I'm going to say one thing. Don't ever call it the product. I fucking hate that. That's such a horrible marketing spin, the product. It's like when they talk about trades, well, they've got some assets. Or we're missing some pieces.
Yeah,
What are you talking about? Assets, pieces, product? When did it turn into that?
You know what? look, I tried to say this earlier. I messaged you a message the other night about how definitions to do with definition.
Yeah.
Definitions rule this world.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different definition of things to the point of insanity. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
now,
I agree. I completely agree.
The thing that you touched on earlier that I want to bring up as we head down the stretch on this, coaches are still coaching, and you just don't understand why or how they stick around.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? The gentleman with the Bengals, Marvin Lewis, right?
Yeah, Marvin Lewis. Yeah.
How long? Like how long was he there? Like,
yeah,
forever?
He was there like 10, 11 years, like something like that. Yeah, and he's interviewing for jobs. He interviewed for one of these openings. I forget which one, but he interviewed. Yeah.
What a culture! Yeah, he cultivated what a culture. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you think as far as coaches that right now that are in there that shouldn't be?
Zach Taylor got to go. He should go. He and everyone and people are like, well, the jury's still out. Whatever. The jury's not still out. He ran so many 5-wide sets with a horrible offensive line. Burrow took hit after hit after hit after hit, and he finally got his knee destroyed. The most important piece, Burrow is more important than any other player, obviously. He's more important than any of the coaches. He's more important than the GM. And you let this guy get beat up every single week to the point they finally blew his knee out. He's got to go. Zach Taylor should go because an amazing quarterback on a rookie contract is worth so much more than is currently valued. Because as soon as a quarterback signs their market deal, they take up 15% of the cap. As a rookie, they're taking up like 2% of the cap, 3% of the cap. Taylor's got to go. Kingsbury's got to go. It's a little controversial, but Kingsbury's got to go. The guy's an idiot. The guy is not like in game. He's terrible. Horrible clock management, horrible complimentary football, horrible situational awareness, all that stuff. He should be an offensive coordinator. That's it. If you didn't have Murray, he'd be useless. And you get Murray killed too. Every single game, Murray's hurt. He's got to go.
Young. He's too young. Like, honestly, God, you know when somebody doesn't have enough experience? Kingsbury was, remember he was in college like, 10, 20 years ago? God only knows. And he was on that team. Whatever team he was on, they just run and gun. Remember he?
Yeah.
Dude would have like 500 yards a game to throw, and you'd be like, but they throw on every down, right? So he's that guy. He came from that organization where they just let him. It was Arizona or something like that, right?
It was, I think, one of the Texas schools, one of the Arizona schools. Yeah, something crazy. And the thing is, he threw for 568 yards, and they might lose.
Yeah, his stats would be a crazy amount of yards because they would just throw it. And then he comes in the NFL, and he's not even he's really young. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of guy doesn't seem like the type of guy that's just going to become a head coach. There's so much more involved than being a head coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's going to handle all this other stuff and then figure out who's going to call the plays and figure out who's going to make the decisions. Now, the decisions should come from him, but you got to figure this out, kid. Like, you got to have your way. Look, you got to be willing to punch Mark Colombo in the mouth.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, and stand your ground. Look, I'm the head coach. This is how it's got to work. Here's how we got to do things. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, completely. And like the funny thing is, like everyone looks like Sean McVay, who's amazing. Like, and Kingsbury, like got a phone call from Sean McVay, so they were affiliated. That's why Kingsbury got the job. But McVay, I think, has grown into the role more after he fired Wade Phillips. Like when he hired Wade Phillips as a defensive coordinator, he called him up and he was basically like, hey, do you want the job? And like he kind of deferred to him on everything. Now he's got some young defensive coordinator, and McVay is now he's not like with Wade Phillips. They weren't exactly peers, but he would never question Phillips. Now he's undisputed head coach, and he's making like amazing things happen. Like McVay is a true head coach. He's going to be great for a long time. Kingsbury, you can wash out. Another guy needs to go. Don Zimmer, not Don Zimmer. In Minnesota, Zimmer needs to go. Don Zimmer was around forever, but he needs to go. They will never ever compete for a championship with his offense. They just won't. And like these teams, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. That's one of those. Yeah. I agree with you. It's not very creative. They're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Minnesota, Chicago.
Nagy's got to go.
These teams rattle my head because they kind of play this boring type of offense that it kind of is.
And they do it every year.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's the thing. Like every year, it's like rewind. Like you like, what are you guys going to try to do? So it'll be interesting to see kind of who gets in and who doesn't. Like Matt Rule in Carolina, he's phenomenal already. He's going to be great. Like imagine being the Jets, because we always get back to the Jets. They passed on Matt Rule to get Adam Gase. They ended up going with Adam. Can you imagine that? Like, who's making decisions?
No one. I don't think anyone does with the Jets. I'll tell you what, though, they are in at the 2 for the draft.
The Jets?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
2, right? They need to figure out where they're going as a franchise when they hire this coach that they're searching for.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're searching for, but they need to go with what's his face, Darnold. I would keep Darnold no matter what, right? And I would use that first round pick to either take somebody that you really desperately need, or I would look to trade down and because they need players. They just need players in general.
Yeah.
They need a better team. Darnold is not 100% ruined by Yates. He got close. Like
he's
done with his career.
Yeah.
But he's a good kid and he's a good quarterback. So I think under somebody who's sane, like he'll do. I think Darnold may have a good career. So I think they got pieces. It's just that like they need to all step up and play and be on the same page. They're a mess. Yes.
No, completely. Yeah. Yeah. So without dwelling on the Jets, I want to hit one other team because I don't know if you saw the article yesterday. Miami is like all in on Tua. And I wish Brother Ray was here because he might be the only one that knows more about the Dolphins than I do. That was supposed to be a joke.
Yeah.
But they're supposedly all in on Tua. They have the third pick in the draft from Houston, and like this is like they're getting better, right? As a team, they had 11 wins. They're not going to have the third pick until they tank again. Are you that sure that Tua is your guy? And also, they're not going to bring back Fitzpatrick because they don't want the competition for Tua, which goes to show you that Tua's mental his confidence in his mental game is not as strong as it should be because they're not going to bring Fitz back. So, are you? King Michael, would you be confident with Tua as your guy?
All right, so here's the thing. I was getting nervous watching him play down the stretch because he was starting to play a little weird, right? He was starting to make some he throws a ball sometimes that looks really soft and really floaty. Like I can't explain it. Like when I refer it back to when Danny Dimes throws one, it goes and just drops out of the sky. That's the beauty of it. It gets to its point and drops. Tua's kind of floats, and they kind of have to jump up and grab it. You know what I'm trying to say?
I get it. Yeah,
that, like Bobby Fiocco left-handed knuckle, like it just never comes down. So I don't know. Like I was like, man, is that how he throws all the time? Like, I like the kid. He's really young. Like, they're not even giving him a chance. You know what I mean? I would stay with him. I mean, you made the decision to take him. You stay with him. It's too early. Yeah. Too like low of a pick to not stick with.
Yeah. See, that's the real thing right now. Like up until very recently, you're drafted as a rookie quarterback. You got a few years. Like you sit, you watch, you do it. Right? Now, if you're not like if you get put in a game, you're not amazing. Your rookie season, and you don't have a grasp of everything. That's it. Like you have no grace period anymore. It's kind of crazy. And like if they take with that 3 and draft one of those 2 amazing wide receivers, or that left tackle or whoever. That's coming out, like maybe it works, but if they're wrong, it sets the franchise back forever. Like I wouldn't want to make that decision. Like I honestly do not envy the GM and the coach there making that decision because you almost it's very difficult to win that. You have to be right about Tua, and then you have to be right about the guy you draft at 3. Tough.
See, if I'm one of those young teams that has a quarterback that they're going to stick with, like if you're the Jets, I would look to trade out of the 2 spot. I would entertain that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of teams that need that quarterback from Ohio State.
Yeah, Fields. Yeah.
So trade out. You know what I mean? Like I believe in that. And it seems like nobody does that anymore, but I believe in that because get a couple of first round picks for him. You need to build an organization. Like the Giants were kind of happy with how they went because they're building an organization. We have a lot of young people in the building. I mean, the just go on about the Giants, but their second round pick, Xavier McKinney, the safety that I told you that plays like every position, just like Peppers does. Like he does everything. He would have had 2 interceptions against the Cowboys, but he only ended up with 1. So I mean, like the dude can play.
Yeah, I think the Giants are going in the right direction. I'm still not sold on Daniel Jones. I'm definitely not sold. I think he turns the ball over like way too much. I'm not sold there. And like I don't know like what else what else are they missing? Like they seem like they're missing stuff, but like they got a good defense. They got, Daniel Jones. They have decent wide receivers. They have, Ingram, the all-pro tight end. Like, what are they? Is it off? Like,
offensive playmakers. There was no Saquon on the field. We had nobody that could just go to the house or that was like we need to get rid of Ingram and his fake Pro Bowlness.
I had to say it. Sorry.
Give me that old school Ertz type tight end that's just going to catch the goddamn ball, right? And then draft me a young rookie wide receiver. Like, let's get the dude, Allen Robinson, I think is going to be a free agent. Let's just get some wide receivers in the building that can go to the house. Like, when your best wide receivers are Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard, you don't have receivers.
What about Slayton? What happened to him?
Just Slayton, but it's just Slayton. Slayton's the only one I'm keeping. Like I'm telling you, like I trade Ingram, I would trade Tate, I get rid of Shepard, I get rid of all those guys. Slay, I would keep because Slayton is fast and Slayton is very good at a jump ball.
Yeah.
But like, all right. So let me ask you this. This was one of my NFL thoughts. So out of the rookie class of running backs, right? Out of the ones that I handled, there was some other ones that were incredible. But out of the ones that I had, who do you think ended up being the better one of the 3? Of Dobbins, of Jonathan Taylor, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire? What order would you put those 3?
I would say Helaire definitely 3, and I don't know why. Well, I actually do know why, but I haven't thought on why. But Taylor got the better opportunity, but I think Dobbins is going to be better long term. I think next season, Dobbins is going to be a friggin' beast next season. I think Taylor, you probably saw in the last few games, Taylor's ceiling, which is not bad. It's great. But I would say Dobbins, Taylor, Edwards-Helaire, and like Edwards-Helaire to me ended up being a disappointment, which is, not a shock because of the Kansas City offense and the fact that they brought Le'Veon Bell in, and but those other 2.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The kid's young. Maybe him sitting for a year isn't a bad idea in his case. You know what I mean? Like maybe having Le'Veon Bell there with a better idea. Like maybe like Bell's not going to be around forever. He's not going to be around next year. Maybe so. Maybe next year is Hilaire's opportunity. However, I do agree with Taylor. I didn't think Taylor was going to be as good as advertised. Like he was better than I thought. Like I like the way he runs.
Yeah,
he hits people hard. But but J.K. definitely has the best, most talent. Like you see it, you see it, and you say to yourself, he's going to be real good. He's going to he's going to have a lot of yards running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even with Lamar.
Yeah, he should demolish the Titans defense. This weekend he should have a monster game against the Titans defense because the Titans defense is terrible. Like and the Ravens have something to prove. And like I think they're just going to feed him, and he's gonna just tear them apart. I really think so. He's really, really good. But like Edwards-Helaire, I don't know. He just doesn't seem to. He seems to be missing something. Like and I think part of it is also that offense because when you have Mahomes and you have Tyreek Hill and you have Kelsey. You have Nicole Hardman. Like every once in a while, he's open really deep. I think Andy Reid loves that like chunk shit, and he's always looking deep. So I think they give up on Edwards-Helaire, too quickly. But I think he had a great opportunity, but it just doesn't seem to be. It didn't seem to really work out as I would expect. I would have expected this year. Like you drafted them. Not that it really matters. You had all 3 picks, but it was Edwards-Helaire. I think then was Dobbins second, then Taylor. So I think everyone had Edwards-Helaire ranked higher. But when you saw it all play out, it wasn't all that surprising.
No, it was weird. Yeah, but to me, it just got weird. And they got a lot of they got way too many weapons. Way too many weapons.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you're cool. You're set though. Either way, I wouldn't get rid of any of those 3 except for like some massive haul. So I think you're in good shape with you. Either way.
No, those 3. It was. And the funny thing is, there's some years that tactic of trying to just draft 3 rookie running backs like that could have just blew up in my face horrendously. There's been many of years where 3 rookies come out and they all. I actually had that happen to me once. I don't know if you remember. I had the first 2 picks and I took 2 rookie running backs, and they both ended up being like just bums.
Like
bums.
Bishop Sankey and somebody else.
Yeah, some bullshit like that. Like that's happened to me before, like where the young running backs turn out to be just junk.
Yeah.
And I remember saying that if I hit on 2 out of 3, that would be incredible, because really it would. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. The football season as it stands now, I'm just glad they played. Like I'm glad they played the season. I don't know where the season's gonna go for the playoffs. Like I tell you what, I want to see. I want to see them all be allowed to hit each other more.
Yeah.
And that's not awful to say that. Like I want to see other people hit each other more. Let them hit. Like let please. The quarterback has such an advantage of sliding. Where he fake slides and then he goes head first. Like what I'm saying is that's like a James Harding type thing. You know what I mean? You're abusing the rule right there. Like you're gonna slide, but then you go head first for additional yards, and you know what I mean? Like and a guy's gonna pull up at the last second and not like lose his career because he almost hit you head first.
Yeah.
Between that and when guys duck and they get hit in the head and they throw a flag, and it's like, what do you want the other guy to do?
Yeah.
Really, he ducked. He can't in a millisecond. Well, he's ducking and you know what I mean?
I can't stand it. The fake slide. Anybody does a fake slide, like it needs to just get blown up. You needs to get knocked out of the game. I hate the fake slide thing. Like who was the worst with all that? Like Russell Wilson, you would like violate all the rules of a quarterback running, because there's like some things when you get into the sideline and you're angling on your way out. You go out of bounds so you don't get blown up. He would like angle and then take 2 steps forward. It's like somebody's gonna hit this guy and like hurt him until they stop doing it. But what's even worse, I didn't even know this, but I watched 6 or 7 college bowls over last weekend. Are you aware of the targeting rules in college football?
You mean
if you're running and I come into you and they rule that like I came in with my helmet, if my shoulder pad and my helmet hit you, you're like at the top of your slide or something, they could call me for targeting. It's a 15-yard penalty, and I get kicked out of the game. You get kicked out of the game. Like in both, in at least 2 of the bowl games I watched, players got kicked out for bullshit targeting calls with hit with their shoulder pad and their helmet at the same time. Flag, targeting, you're out of the game. Like that's going to come to the NFL. It's going to come. It's ridiculous. I can't say it. Yeah.
Hey, we gotta wrap it up this Thursday night. We actually here at Legit Fantasy Sports, we're getting so busy there, Genius, that we've got multiple shows. So right after they view this on legitfantasysports.com or on our Facebook page or on our Twitter page, they'll be seeing the premiere of our new basketball show, Legit Fantasy Basketball, putting on a clinic. So that's going to be a great show. So we're going to say goodbye for now with football. We'll be back. I don't know what we're going to do about the Saturday games, man. I don't know if we're going to have to do a show or we're going to have to do a big hit thing where we just give our winners. You know what I mean? Because we got to make sure they get the right picks for Saturday.
I think we have to. We owe it. We have to. How can we not? Just like 3 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. We can't skip half the games.
All right, so we'll touch in really quick and make sure we get you guys our picks. I mean, because you with your teasers, I mean, it's been Money in the Bank nonstop, right? It's been you're what, 6 games, six times in a row.
Week 17 was 7-0. It was actually 7-0. So yeah, so now's the time.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Genius. I'll see you on. I guess we're gonna drop in on Saturday. We'll drop in on Sunday. I guess the best thing to tell everybody is always check the site, legitfantasysports.com. It'll have updates of what's going on. All right? That's what's going on. It's me. It's Mike Lepre, Legit Fantasy Football.